Hi, this is the next part of the Subjects Plus videos on guide creation. So we created the guide in part one, and we clicked the link and it took us here. It's our guide on Nova Scotian literature, and you'll see here that this flyout window starts in an open position. I'm just going to close it now so we can kind of orient ourselves to what's on the screen. So here we have the hamburger that allows us to see the overall menu in Subjects Plus, but it's kind of minimized so you can focus on your guide creation. Here's the name that we've given to the guide. Over here, if we were to click this, we would see the guide in the public view. Since this is on the live server for University of Miami, it's just an empty guide using our look and feel. And if we were to click this, that's our metadata thing, and that allows us to adjust. This is what we'd put in before, so I'm going to this time remove my second staff member. There we go. And the information bar up here tells me it's been done. You can either click the little X here or click here to get out of it. And then the third thing is a search, which searches within the guide. If you have a really big guide and a lot of content, you can find it that way. Right now we have no content, so this is not going to do much. So we'll just hide that. You'll notice over here we have the one tab, the main tab, a gear, which allows you to adjust information on that tab. Basically, you can make it public or hidden at this point. This will come into effect later, but basically once you have a bunch of content boxes on the page, you can minimize them all so you can get a kind of better bird's eye view when you click that. And then the plus will allow you to add another tab. So even though we discourage multiple tabs, we will have our second tab, which we will call, I guess, databases. And you have the option to do a redirect URL. So if you wanted this databases tab to always take us to our databases page, we could do that. Yeah, let's do it. edu/subjects/databases.php. And now if I were to click this tab, it's going to take me off to our databases page rather than go to a new tab. But we don't really want to do that. So I'm going to go back. Well, I'll leave it for now. Alright, so that's kind of the orientation to that. This will make the flyout appear again. And there's quite a number of kind of subcategories, and then each of them allows you to do something. We'll start with layouts. So you see we have 1, 2, 3 boxes here, and that corresponds to here. There are 3 equal ones. If we wanted to have 2 boxes, one wide, one narrow, you click that, and you can click this and see your various options on the screen. I guess I'll stick with 50-50 boxes right now. And then you can add a new section. If you want to do a more complicated layout, you want to have 2 boxes on the top and then 1 box underneath and then 3 boxes below that. That's a way of doing that, but that's too fancy for right now. So that's the layout, and let's go up to the boxes tab here. So this is kind of the key one for adding content to Subjects Plus, and the kind of most key box of all is this editable box. So to put content on the page, to add it, you can either double click, which will just drop it wherever it wants to. In this case it dropped it there, or go to the flyout. I can also drag and drop a box. So I hover over one of the areas that turn kind of pinky purple and drop it. So right now I've put one empty box on each side. So I don't know what we're going to write about now. We'll have top books in one, and maybe our other one will be top databases. So you see here we have kind of regular WYSIWYG interface, much like in Word. A couple things you might point out is that you can insert an image by doing this. These two are handy, like paste from Word. If you have something in a Word document, that'll strip out all the unnecessary and sometimes confusing XML that might appear otherwise. You can choose some particular styles, and you can also view source, which tells you, it shows you kind of the HTML view. So if I were to put in, welcome to our top books, and I might want to highlight this to just because, so now it's bold. And if I were to click the source, you would see the HTML here, the strong command. So it can be helpful if you like to do HTML by hand, or if you are debugging something is weird. You might find out why it's weird by looking at the source. Usually that happens when you cut and paste from somewhere like on the web. And then we have down here our kind of custom tokens to insert a resource token, to upload a document, to insert an FAQ, and to link to a catalog record. So let's go over to our top databases and let's insert a token here. So let's see what happens if I search for Canada. Okay, oh yeah, Edward Leach and the Songs of Atlantic Canada, that's perfect. We want to add that because Nova Scotia is in Atlantic Canada. And we want to add the icons, which tell us if it's restricted or not. And we want to include the description, and we'll include the note, why not? So we add that. What we see here is a rather unfriendly looking token. This will be replaced by the text when we hit Save Changes. And now we have something a little more kind of user-friendly. So we have our link, we have this that says it's not restricted, this that says it's an audio resource, and a little description field. And if we want to look on the public site again, we go over here and we'll refresh. And you see we have two tabs now, and we've got our top books and we've got our top databases. So let's go back again. If we want to edit something that we've already done, we click on the little gear here. It shows you what we saw before. We've also got a few options that we can kind of mess with over here. The delete will totally remove this item from the guide, and it'll ask you if you're sure, and I'm not sure. I don't think I want to delete that. You can hide the title bar, which will mean that this information won't show up. You can hide the box content, which means this information wouldn't show up. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that. You can favorite the box, because these top books you want to use throughout all your guides. And there's this open all links in a new tab if you want your links to work that way. And there's a couple styles. These are just ones that we've set up here locally. So, okay, we've made this a favorite now. So let's save this. And notice something here. You see the little star? That means it's been favorited. So you might also notice that the little arrows in all directions show up here. That means you can drag it at this point. So this is how you rearrange content on your guides. I've decided, I want that to be in the right hand column. I want the top databases on the left. So I do that. I save my changes, and it's saved. Let's look at our flyout again for a second. If you see down here the favorite boxes, you see this top books. This is what we just created. So that wasn't there a minute ago, and it's there now. These are some other ones that I've created. And again, this comes in handy in your other guides. If you want to link to a copy of this, you click that and it'll pop it into your guide. And the distinction between link and copy is a link is pointing back to the original, while a copy is creating something new that goes on to have a life of its own. There's a lot of box types, and I think we'll have a separate video where we'll go through each of those. So let's just orient ourselves to what else is on the screen. So there's the find boxes. You can either browse for existing guides. Let's see, let's find my Canadian literature one. And much like in the other, we've got the link and copy, and this is a way of getting at content that exists in one of your other guides, so you can reuse it. And all these no title, I was doing a demo guide, so it's got a bunch of kind of empty junk content in it. I can also search for something. I know I've got a box. I know it starts okay, I know it's how can I find books, and I want to add this one in. So I'm going to make a copy, and it just popped in this box. I don't know where it came from. So let's save. And here's our how can I find books one. And there we have it. So let's save that again. I don't probably want that in my real Nova Scotian Literature Guide. So sorry, the screen's all squinched here, so I'll delete this. I'll say yes, and now it's gone. So that's a way of finding boxes. Custom list is a way of creating like a quick list of databases, for instance, and by default it's limited to the A to Z list. So if, again, let's see what we've got for Canada. So I've got this sheet music from Canada's past, oh I want that. I've got statistics, Canada's eStat, oh I want that. Virtual gramophone, I want that. So I want to make a little list quickly of these three things. For each of these I can turn on or off what I want to show for the database. So virtual gramophone, well, I want descriptions for all of them, but I don't want the notes. So I create this list box. It drops it into a new box on the page, and I will give it a title, Super Resources, and we'll give an exclamation point to make it more exciting. We see these kind of unfriendly tokens right now, but we save and it becomes something a little more human readable. So that's the basic idea for creating lists. We've already looked at the layouts, the tabs. If you've got a whole lot of tabs, it can be easier to deal with them up here and rearrange them, that way. When there's only two, there's not much advantage in that. The analytics is something we're still working on. I just created this guide, it's got 0 views. And then the My Guides is just a quick way to get all the guides that I have created if I want to navigate over to another one. So let me show you one more thing, and then I'm going to wrap up this kind of very quick overview. I mentioned this caret before, so if I click that, you see everything's been kind of minimized, and now, okay, I can reorganize all my stuff a lot more easily than when they're all expanded, and then I have to scroll down, and when you have a big guide, that can become a bit of a pain. So let's save our changes, and let's go look at our live one. We'll refresh it, and there it is, all the 3 boxes we created all stacked on top of each other. So stay tuned for another one to explain the different box types in the guides.